Seeing as I could gush on about samplers and MPCs and shit for a long time, let's do it. Ian Pooley's last video, that video with Ian Pooley with the MPC-2000, that was really cool. So let's take a look at MPC-2000 XL and some things I want to sort of cover on it. Yeah, so this is basically the last classic MPC Akai really did. You had the 1000 and the 4000, which was still Akai Japan, and then I think Newmark took over. But this, in my opinion, is my compromise really for the best sort of features and everything else. You know, I love it because it's I love the 60. That's one of my favourites. The 3000's obviously, you know, it's great, and this is it's a nice compromise. This is really a lot like the 3000 in terms of hardware inside, but we've just taken a bit of, you know, it's cheaper, and the reason it's cheaper is because look at that, the interface is instead of having so many buttons and that luxurious interface that the 3000 has, it's sort of crammed it down, and you've got shift keys here instead of button per feature, sorry. But yeah, I mean, you're going to have people arguing about feel. Let's not get into that. It's its own thing. It's its own thing. It does its thing. The one big complaint I have with this, and most modern things like that, is the waveform edit. Other than the buffer time, it really annoys me. Half the thing is with the waveform, when you're editing the waves, you're editing with your eyes, not with your ears. So you're always going to chop those samples really, really tight, which creates a different feel. If you have, like on the MPC 3000 and the 60, you just have numbers, well, guess what? Your feel's going to be looser, isn't it? So first thing we're going to cover really is the thing that Akai sort of pride itself on the S series, at least. It even says it in the manuals. They really try their best to make hardware that's backwards and forwards compatible as well. So with the 2000 XL, you're compatible with MPC 60 and 3000 discs, which is fantastic. Now on my one, I took the floppy disk drive output and I put a zip disk, and you have a IDE connector. You're not just limited to SCSI, so you can get one for £1. And at the time, this was like the cheapest thing before those CF card things became popular. I just sort of stuck with that. But yeah, so I mean, I don't have a 60, but my friends has a 60. Some other people have 3000s, and sometimes I borrow those machines. And if you remember, a few years back, I did a couple of videos with a 60, and I saved obviously all those little beats I made on floppy disks. And the fantastic thing is I'm able to load them on here. So if you remember this one, it will sound a bit different because at the time I had a different board and I EQ'd it completely differently, and I think I compressed it as well. But yeah, I mean, you still get the feel. And that's, you know, un-EQ'd or anything, if you will. And that's, yeah, you know, it's fantastic having that backwards compatibility, and of course I think it was on. Aha, the base station's back. I think I played that on the original one, didn't I? Yeah. So yeah, that was the thing I made on the MPC-60, loads in perfectly here, plays back those 12-bit samples, bro. They're coming out of those 16-bit converters, isn't they? Mind you, the MPC-60 itself isn't really 12 bits. It's 16-bit, but it chops off the last 2 bits. Ain't that funky? So that song makes use of the thing that Ian covered, actually. The 16 levels with the tuning. Did he cover that? I can't remember. So basically we have where is it? That. So, is it that one? Yeah. So you got your 16 levels, turn that on, no variation on, put it there, so then you can chromatically sort of play that sound across these 16 pads, which is classic MPC features straight off from the first one. Great. The other thing that obviously is fantastic on here, although you cover the note repeat, the best thing about these pads is the after touch. Let's check that out. So yeah, these pads are velocity sensitive, but also have after touch. Now, used in conjunction with this note repeat, that's a game changer for me. It really makes your drums more interesting. So what we're going to do now is record a kick drum. We're going to put the kick at maximum velocity, switched on the full level. That means now, no matter how soft or hard I hit the pads, it's always going to be at the same level. And then we're going to switch that off. We're going to put the note repeat on, and we're going to play in some hi-hats. And the pressure is going to vary the velocity whilst I'm holding it down. So yeah, let's go. So we recorded that. I can take the overdub off now, and we're going to practice, right, what our hi-hat pattern is going to be like. And I can always go between the overdubbed from record and not record just by doing that, which is great. Tap, note repeat, shift and hold, done. So you see now, if I, depending on how hard I press it, right, you're getting it now, aren't you? So I kind of fluffed that up, didn't I, on that one? I didn't want it like that, so I can either hit undo sequence, but because I only did that as a one whole sequence, it's going to undo everything. But I can just press erase, and it's going to erase track 2. Leave me the kick drum there. Let's start again. That's it. I can go to my next track and put open a hi-hat. Take the overdub off because I don't know where the clap is. I know it's here somewhere. Let's stop that. Where's my hand clap? Where? Oh, there it is. We're going to full velocity on that. There you go. I mean, there's your basic house rhythm, and it feels right. That's the important thing. Some nice variation in the hi-hats, eh? Oops, and I can undo sequence, isn't that great? Go back to that. Fantastic. And then you got your, oh shit, 16 levels still on. Where's your SH101? Yeah, so that is, it's very fun. Now obviously a lot of people might come from XOX programming. I'll show you that in a minute. With step edit, you can do things with that. I somehow need to move this camera on the screen though. It's hard explaining it. What else? Yeah, actually after this I'm going to do the FX, the EB16FX. No one covers the FX on this thing. So yeah, but I mean, actually one of the tip was although we covered all this quantizing rubbish here and note repeat and all that, obviously note repeat doesn't work if you have quantize off. And one of the things, if you want, you know, slightly a more authentic sort of swing, really turn it off. Have some parts unquantized because it sounds great, especially when you get to keyboard, when you get to playing your keyboard. Have a lot of parts. Just don't record it in quantize, okay? And that's going to give you your feel. I like to keep the kick a lot of the time quantized, but there are various elements that I will not quantize and some that I will. It all helps, especially on here. Like I said, I think I said in this one, didn't I? No, I don't think I did. I must have cut that video clip out, I can't remember. But the 2000 XL, one of the things that actually really annoys me that the 60 and the 3000 rock is this waveform display is actually more of a hindrance than it is help. You end up slicing each sound so precise, everything just becomes so tight. And I you know, who the hell wants it that tight? I don't. Well, maybe if you make techno, I guess. I don't know. Now we talked about effects, you know, it can spice up a little things. The effects in the MPC are not great, and it's famous for not being great, but where they can add, actually, for me, it's just less of a hassle than having to map it out all on the board. Obviously I've got my outboard effects, which are better, and I will use some stuff, you know, some outboard for a few things, but for example, like here, just a little bit on a snare, just a little bit on a clap, just a little bit on this and that. Come on, forget about it. Yeah, you see, these are the same samples I had before, really, that Rose, you know. You see how it's transformed, really. We're using effects from here as well, the little delays on some of the hi-hats. So yeah. And the other cool thing is we know about pad mute, if not I'll explain it later, but we also have this next sequence button here, and you press that and you press pad on here, and every sequence I've got on here is all on the pads, and we can name them as well. It comes up on the screen what the sequences are, we can name them, and then I just they come up at the end of the bar, it will play the next sequence that I've pressed. There you go. And you can also press sudden, and sudden just jumps to it without waiting for this sequence to finish. So if we do that, it's just that. And you know, there you go. And this is all from the stereo output. I'm taking it from, I haven't done anything, there's no individual outputs I'm using for this stuff at the moment. We have got it routed, but I'm not using it at the moment for this demo. You get what I'm saying? And all of that was basically in the 2000 XL. Yeah, or samples. So if, I don't know, is there any? I haven't named anything. That's good, isn't it? See, but I mean, it comes in useful, the effects. The MPC-2000 only had a delay, and might I add, a very good delay, a good sounding delay, was this one. Like I say, they're not great effects, but they are useful. This is the thing, it's useful to have. All those, you know, phasey, flangey bits, you know, all that. And, you know, with your 16 levels, my DX100 sounding great. My donk bass. You know, all gravy. Let's all move to the next thing, maybe. I'm actually looking for something that makes use of the filters, but you know, I'm not very good at organising songs and stuff. Actually, one real good bonus point of this machine is its FAT32 compatibility. You know, disks, zips, whatever, USB drives, whatever you feed into it. You know, you have proper file folder structure. You can put it in a Mac or a PC. You can drag and drop files as long as they're 44.1K 16-bit files. It is cool. It is groovy, and you got also programs on the computer where you can assign stuff, if you will, to there. So I'm gonna keep on searching because I wanted, yeah. So here's another one. Internal effects, EB16, all just straight out the stereo output, with filtering on that chord, which is the TX81Z, Z whatever. And we're using the note variation slider to do filtery groovy shit. Don't that sound real gritty? Can you feel the vibe? Real grit, look at that. That is the TX81Z sampled on here. You can get this kind of grit from here as well, believe it or not. You just have to wait 5 million years for the resample now. See, I've just flip-flopped to all these crazy subjects. The resample on here, I'm just going to load something else. Maybe I've got loaded up in here. Maybe it's the same thing, I don't know. Let's have a look what this is. But anyway, the reason why the resample takes so long is, you will have read this on the internet if you're a nerd. This whole thing doesn't have an FPU, floating point calculation processor thing, so it has to do all these calculations in software. So basically what that means is it takes forever to do anything. So stuff like, you know, convert the bit depth and converting sample rate, forget about it, you know, just, yeah, total forget about it. Let's see, this is how long it takes to load up from a zip disk, by the way. It's better than a floppy, but it's still a pain in the arse. Oh yeah, check this out. Alright, we are loaded. I don't know why the note variation slider is still on, but... Oh, here we go. This is better. Let's try to... Yeah. So we got little variations of everything we seem to have there. Yeah. Then again, this is just stereo output using the effects, the EB16 effect board in the MPC-2000 XL. And we're just varying the filter, the low pass filter. I see some MIDI things on here, but God knows, I probably had something playing a bass line or some shiz. Sorry. Look at that. Now what happens if I turn the 700S on? Un momento, por favor. I have to turn these auxiliary sends down. I know you can't see a lot because it's just the MPC, right? It's just the MP. Let's unmute the 700S. Let's unmute the verb. Oh dear. She's a little bit out of tune, isn't she? What was I doing to you, man? Let's forget the 700S for the moment. She's a little bit out of tune. What else is on here? The Juno. Cork 700S. Yeah, go back to mute you. Juno, you are on something MIDI channel bollocks. Let's see, this is quite fun, isn't it? You're here somewhere. Maybe two. Yes, here you are. You might do something cool. Do you want chorus on there? I don't know. Why am we not? Oh, here we go. Wheel mix. Unmute mix. There we go. That is the Juno. Let's find a sound. She is very 80s, you see. But she wants the reverb. A little bit more. Turn it a little lower. I can't remember why I don't have a filter on it. It sounds shit now. Okay. Now what if I EQ this bass station to actually have some balls, but balls with the W. A little bit better, isn't it? Something like that. What was this video all about again? It's a shame you can only see that, you know. I mean, look at all this shit here, you know. Look at that. See, all that is off, other than my reverb. The Lexicon LXP15 she is going. She's been going for years. What else we got here in this crap? We got the board. We've gone seriously out of focus, man. There you go. Whoa, is that coming? That's better, sort of. Whoa. Okay, so yeah, look, see, MPC stereo output, nothing else. It says Gen on there, but actually it's the base station now. It used to be the Gen. We've gone back, and that's it. So ain't no bullshit. Look, my effect returns are blank because until I play my Rolando, you know. So you can just about see there, but you know, there we go. So. Brrr. There you go. So the other thing I was actually going to talk about, step edit, right? I think we should get into step edit. Step edit's cool, man, and I don't think this is the perfect beat to show you with. Doom boom boom. That's actually pretty cool, isn't it? Doom 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 doom. It should be played an octave lower though, but the this keyboard ain't going any lower. Actually, that's the other cool stuff on here. We have got awesome editing capabilities. You know, we can step edit, we can transpose. We can transpose so easily. I can copy this sequence, I can paste the sequence. Honestly, if you want to know more about the MPC, download the fucking manual, man, and just check it out because it will tell you everything. There's nothing special that I'm doing here. I'm not even scratching the surface. You know, I mean, we got program changes on here, which is cool, right? But we also can we can do bank changes as well. So I mean, it's a real complex piece of equipment. But the one thing that I think people get confused by is this step edit. So I'm just going to show you that. Let's cut this thing. Okay, so the way the MPC sequencer is laid out is in bars, beats, and ticks, and it's a 96 BPQ parts per quarter. Okay, so we're going to just look at it set on 1/16. Okay, so the resolution is just like a TRXOX drum machine. Okay, and this is what we can visualize. Okay, we got, oh dear, that's still fine. That's still fine. Right, 1 bar. This is just 1 bar. Okay, and then we start. Okay, 0 0 2 4 4 8 76. Then it goes back to 0 0. So this is 1 beat. 1 2 3 4 4 beats in a bar. Okay, this is the note length. If you're ever doing loops, okay, or a long note, you just want a long note and you want it to loop perfectly, you know, because you can't draw in. I know people are so used to drawing in like Cubase or Logic, clicking in a note and having it, you know, for 1 bar. You know, so this is your your TR909 sequencer, you know, your 1 to 16, yeah, with a kick on every 1 2 3 4, yeah. So if you wanted a note or a loop or any sample that you wanted it for 1 bar, all you have to do is times that 4 times 384. If you wanted it for 2 bars, 768, and so on. Oh, write the numbers there bigger. So let's move the camera around on the screen and put it into practice. So I mean, a kick you'd have on every and classic hi-hat on every third on 48. And so we'll show you. Okay, so we got a blank sequence, 2 bar sequence. It's gonna look. Let's go to step edit, and this will apply to all the old MPCs, probably new ones. I don't know. Okay, so where it says now, we have bars, beats, ticks. Remember that drawing? Okay, so on your logic control, we have, you know, your record, overdub, stop, play buttons, play, start. You have buttons. Step, you have a fantastic one in the middle of left and right step. It says go to. You can actually go to, you can toggle between events, but more on that later. And we got bar. So we can step goes, and this is, we're set to 1/16th, by the way, the quantize, to coincide with that XOX grid. Right, so every time I press step, look at the ticks here. Okay. Now we're on second beat, third, fourth, second bar now, second beat, third, fourth, and it's the end. When it goes to 3, that's the end. And if we press bar, we can go to the second, first bar again. It's really quick, really easy. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the cursor to that, and I'm going to fill in a kick drum pattern without playing it in. I'll show you how easy it is. Now you might visualize it with that drawing in this. So I'm going to put a kick on every, you know, beat, dum 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 dum, and then I'm going to put a hi-hat after that. Right, that's the first bar done, and I'm just going to put bar. It's going to go to the second one. Done. So if I play this, what we've just done, there's a 2-bar loop of a kick drum. Okay, stop, go back and step edit. We can go to the beginning using those logic controls, the step and the bar, and we're going to fill in a hi-hat like that. See, it's already filled it in, so we can delete that hi. We can delete. It's just a kick drum there. We're going to do it on the same channel. Why not? On the same thing. We can also do it so every time we play something, it advances. I'm not going to do that yet. I like to mess around with step controls. So the hi-hat should go on 40 on tick 48. That's the third, you know. That's there. So let's do that to all the bits and pieces. That's it. Fantastic. Okay, that's pretty easy, right? Imagine that, and you can edit that, delete, add whatever you want. This is the cool thing, is because you can obviously edit your mistakes if you're playing different, you know, you're not. So let's now add a loop. Let's go to beginning, and I want it to loop for 2 bars. Remember that thing. I'm not going to hold it down. See the duration here. This is your important bit here. So we want it to go for 768. Enter. Hang on, let's turn it up a bit louder. And it loops. That's it. That's all there is to it. That is your step edit, and I can, you know. And the other thing is that now we've gone into this here, you can see there's nothing here. We can press the go to button, step. This is the next step. That's the next step. You can toggle. Otherwise, you just, you know, a lot of empty air. And this thing, your step edit changes with your quantize. If you turn your quantize off, it suddenly becomes really high resolution. Look at that. But yeah, and of course that's a pain in the ass, which is why you got your go-to button. Yeah. Or right at the beginning. So that's your step edit. Just remember that, and you know, that crazy stuff there, all that, yeah. It's very useful. It's very useful. I know it sounds confusing at first, but it's not. It's so simple. Yeah. step edit.